In today's world, a lot of people fall victims to the woke movement, mainly because as they're trying to find themselves, they end up using pills or thinking there's something wrong with them, forgetting that it's nature's process. The change of hormones, process of maturing, we change and it's natural to feel lost, to feel different changes and have your emotions go up and down and crazy all over the place, but that is something we have to deal with for a short period of time until we become mature and start dealing with life. Now, a lot of people feel that there is something wrong with them and they listen to what the mainstream media is telling, and so they end up using pills and injections and end up changing their gender and falling the victims to the woke movement. It is imperative to acknowledge that feeling lost and searching for one's identity is a natural part of human growth. This process is influenced by a complex interplay of hormones, environmental factors, and personal experiences. It is crucial that we trust this natural process rather than intervening prematurely with medical treatments that may have long-term consequences. Look, there is natural development and the role of hormones. During adolescence, the human body undergoes significant changes driven by the hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, and the growth hormone. These chemicals play a pivotal role in the physical growth, brain development, and emotional regulation. For example, testosterone can increase muscle mass and influence aggression and dominance behaviors, while estrogen contributes to development of reproductive organs and secondary sexual characteristics. These hormonal changes are part of the natural maturation process and are essential for the transition from the childhood to adulthood. The environment in which a young person grows up also profoundly affects their development. Family dynamics, peer relationships, educational experiences, and the cultural context all contribute to shaping an individual's identity. During this period of exploration and self-discovery, it is natural for adolescents to feel uncertain and to question their place in the world. This uncertainty is a crucial aspect of developing a stable and resilient sense of self. Encouraging young people to navigate these challenges without resorting to drastic measures is essential for their long-term well-being. As individuals mature, they gradually develop a more coherent sense of identity. This process involves integrating various aspects of themselves, including their values, beliefs, and personal experiences. It is a journey that requires time, reflection, and support from family and community. Prematurely medicalizing this process through the use of hormone treatments or surgeries can disrupt this natural progression, potentially leading to confusion and regret. It is vital to allow young people the space to explore their identities without imposing irreversible changes on their developing bodies and minds. Neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin also play significant roles in mood regulation and the experience of pleasure and reward. Adolescents are particularly sensitive to these neurochemicals, which can influence their decision-making and risk-taking behaviors. Understanding that these fluctuations are a normal part of development can help in guiding young people through this chaotic period without resorting to pharmaceutical intervention. Encouraging healthy coping mechanisms and resilience-building activities can support their natural development. It is crucial to trust the inherent wisdom of the body and the natural development process that have evolved over millennia. Human beings are remarkably resilient, and with appropriate support and guidance, most individuals will navigate the challenges of adolescence and emerge with a stronger, more integrated sense of self. The woke movement emphasis on immediate solutions to complex identity issues can undermine this natural process, leading to long-term consequences that may not align with the individual's true self. It is essential to prioritize patience, understanding, and trust in the natural progression of human development to foster healthy and authentic identities. Once we understand how the human body works and things that are at play, we have to look at the woke movement. One of the most insidious effects of the woke movement is its relentless assault on the concept of objective truth. In a world increasingly dominated by the subjective interpretations and feelings, the very foundation of rational discourse is undermined. When truth becomes malleable, shaped to fit ideological narratives, we'll lose the ability to engage in meaningful dialogue and problem solving. This erosion fosters a culture where facts are subordinate to feelings, and this shifts the profound implication of our ability to address complex societal issues effectively. The woke ideology often emphasizes collective guilt and victimhood over individual responsibility. This shift is detrimental as it discourages personal accountability and agency, which are crucial for both personal and societal progress. By framing individuals primarily as members of identity groups rather than autonomous agents, It promotes a sense of helplessness and dependency. Such a perceptive not only stifles personal development, but also hampers the societal progress that stems from individuals striving to better their circumstances. The emphasis on identity politics inherent in the woke movement exacerbates societal divisions by categorizing people into increasingly narrow identity groups. This focuses on differences rather than commonalities, fosters an environment of perpetual conflict and resentment. Rather than uniting people through shared values and goals, this ideology sows discord and polarization, making cooperative efforts towards the common societal objectives increasingly difficult. This division is counterproductive to building a cohesive, harmonious society. This woke movement often advocates for the suppression of opinions under the guise of promoting inclusively and protective marginalized groups. This trend poses a significant threat to the fundamental principle of the free speech, which is essential for a healthy democracy. When certain viewpoints are silenced or labeled as harmful without robust debate, it creates an intellectual environment that is not only stifling but also dangerous. Free speech is a bedrock of innovation and progress, and its suppression leads to intellectual stagnation and societal regression. The emphasis on victimhood and systematic oppression within the woke movement can lead to really bad effects on mental health. By constantly highlighting societal injustices and personal grievances, it cultivates a mindset of chronic dissatisfaction and hopelessness. This perspective can contribute to increased anxiety, depression, and pervasive sense of hopelessness among individuals, particularly the youth. Encouraging a victim mentality undermines resilience and the capacity to cope with life's challenges, ultimately harming individuals' well-being and societal health. Let's go back in time. Look at Buddha, for example. How Buddha's parents were trying to protect him from the dangers of the world and anything negative, but a guy just had to leave them to understand how bad world can be so that he could teach us valuable lessons about peace and about self. We have tons of lessons throughout the history, how we have to undergo the process. Everyone goes through this. It's part of nature. People who are growing up are going through the hormonal changes. They're looking at the environment, they don't like what's going on, and so they themselves have to change, have to look at their values, have to form an identity. The youth currently doesn't have a chance to do that because the moment they start feeling weird, the moment their hormones start playing a part, the moment we're somewhat going in the process of maturity, the mainstream media and pharmacy are pushing their drugs and operations to change us. Now we're crammed with chemicals that are changing our identity, killing the masculinity and femininity, changing us into different beings, and then we assume that this is how we're supposed to be, but no, it's not. People have to educate themselves. People have to experience pain somewhat, to some extent, not to suffer their whole lives, but we have to be somewhat resilient. We look at the woke movement where people end up being lost. This woke movement also exposes people to their true identity. For some, it's been really easy to hide under, oh, I'm a victim and I wasn't able to fit in. But others, let's look at Kris Tyson, still is a member of the MrBeast. And while I myself have watched a lot of MrBeast videos, and really like plenty where he's donating and being kind to others. Chris, recently you've seen him in videos as he changed his identity. He went under the hormone treatment, changed his identity to Kris Tyson, also known as Ava, calling himself a she. But let's look at this. He has a lot of comments on Twitter and other places where he's saying that, hey, nothing gets my knob crackling like some lolly. Lolly is a young girl, underage girl, or a childlike female character. So, okay, we can say, like, well, Chris has a fetish for being a lolly. He likes dressing up as a girl. Oh, look, Kris Tyson, he also posted a thing 10 years ago in 2015 where he is dressing up more in a feminine way, saying, that's me 10 years ago, doing what I did every day, hiding in my room so I could present the way I felt. Because when I outed years before, I was taught my life would be over if I didn't stop. So I hid it for the next 10 years. You have no idea what I went through to stand here. There are a lot of people who have kinks and fetishes. A lot of guys who have a fetish of dressing up in a feminine way, wearing skirts, wearing heels and stuff. They have their kinks, they play around and they stop. Good, we have some porn videos. It is more dangerous for you, Chris, because while some people go on the porn websites and upload their stuff, it is a very specific community that will watch that kind of kink. We have a problem here because Chris is so related to MrBeast. MrBeast is #1 in YouTube, over 300 million subscribers. Like when you have such a name when the whole world is looking at you and your best friend who you protect so preciously, and I can respect that, bros, code, like, always support your brother no matter what. Yeah, we can understand that. But when someone is being accused of doing stuff with the minor, and hey, we do not know to what extent, right? We have videos, we have some people talking it up, but we don't know how far it went. The minor, who was 13 at the time, while Kris was 20, says that nothing happened, nothing too intimate happened. Another thing on Reddit, where we can see that Kris is into she-males, looking at porn with the she penis and adding it to collections. Girls with dicks, right? Kris, another comment, that bitch looked good for a 4-year-old. Yeah, some people can take it as a compliment, but when you have a reputation building that you were looking at minors when you were into lollies, Kris, that can look pretty creepy. This woke movement that you bought into, that made you into a victim, yeah, well, it exposes who you truly are. We have comments where Kris Tyson supported the cartoon of the child porn artist Shadman that drew his daughter at the age of 8 in a sexual manner.
Why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles.
Hold on, let me turn off the music. I'm outside MrBeast studio right now. Here's a cornfield. I'll explain that tomorrow. I've just been driving by looking to see, is there an FBI raid going on? What's happening? My name's Dawson. I worked at MrBeast from February to May of this year, 2024. Kris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says MrBeast knew, yeah, MrBeast knew. I heard many times that Ava, Kris Tyson, is a major liability, but they can't get rid of her because she's already threatened legal action and she knows too much. And when all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything MrBeast has done. Amazon, if you can get your money back, get your money back.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
so I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
all right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. And we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.